Imagine a country that dared to challenge the world's greatest powers. A nation that scored stunning victories, only to see it all crumble in an instant. This is the story of Japanese War, its devastation, and its incredible rise from the ashes. How did the small island nation stand up to the mightiest countries on Earth? And how did it rebuild itself to become stronger than ever? Let's travel back in time. Before World War II, Japan was a nation with big ambitions, but limited resources. It desperately needed oil, metal, and other raw materials to fuel its growing industry and military. To get them, Japan looked towards its neighbors in Asia. This quest for resources set the stage for conflict. In 1931, Japan invaded Manchuria in northeastern China, and by 1937, a full-scale war erupted between the two nations. Japan occupied huge territories, securing resources, but also committing terrible acts against the civilian population to solidify its position on the world stage. Japan joined forces with Germany and Italy in 1940, forming the Axis powers. This alliance was a direct challenge to the Western powers, especially the United States and Great Britain. Tensions escalated until they reached a breaking point. On December 7, 1941, Japan launched a surprise attack on the U.S. naval base at Pearl Harbor, Hawaii. The raid was devastating, sinking most of the American battleships and shocking the world. The very next day, the United States officially entered World War II. With the U.S. reeling, Japan accelerated its conquests across Southeast Asia. The Philippines, Malaysia, Singapore, and Hong Kong all fell to its highly trained and organized army. In the early years of the war, between 1942 and 1943, Japan seemed unstoppable. It had established a vast empire and was seen as a dominant military force in Asia. But this dominance was built on a fragile foundation. By 1943, the tide began to turn. They imposed a crippling blockade on Japan's trade routes, cutting off the vital supplies its military depended on. Japan was being squeezed from all sides. The year 1945 brought the final, devastating chapter of Japan's war. Then, the world witnessed the dawn of a terrifying new age. On August 6th, the city of Hiroshima was destroyed by an atomic bomb. 3 days later, on August 9th, Nagasaki met the same fate. These two bombs killed hundreds of thousands of people in an instant and obliterated the country's infrastructure. Faced with utter destruction, Japan had no choice but to surrender. On September 2nd, 1945, the war officially ended. The United States then occupied Japan, with General Douglas MacArthur overseeing a radical transformation of the country. A new constitution was drafted, enacted in 1947, in which Japan forever renounced war and limited its military to the emperor's role became symbolic, and the nation embraced democratic reforms. Finally, on April 28, 1952, with the signing of the Treaty of San Francisco, Japan regained its full independence. The nation then channeled all its energy into economic development. Rising from the ruble to become one of the world's leading industrial powers. Japan's story is a powerful lesson. It shows how aggressive expansion, driven by a lack of resources, can lead to catastrophe. It reminds us that early victories mean little without a sustainable strategy. But most importantly, it shows that even after total defeat, a nation can rebuild. Japan transformed itself into the peaceful, prosperous, and innovative country we know today. Thanks for watching.